Chapter 5, Juvie. Mama said we were going to take a detour up to Las Vegas, but I didn't expect anything like this. Glitz and glamour arose from the desert as if a magic wand was waved across it. One minute we were driving through the tan, cracked earth, and the next we were in something that looked like it came straight from the land of Oz. Only this place wasn't green. Even through the blazing heat of the day, I could see the light shine every color of the rainbow. I watched in amazement as we passed by all the flashing signs and lit-up buildings, a neon cowboy, Caesar's Palace, flamingos, and genie lamps. It reminded me of an amusement park, but Brother said it was mostly for adults. When we finally stopped, it was in front of a place called Mr. Cy's Casino of Fun, a place not nearly as fancy as the other buildings, since it was just a part of a strip mall. Mama skipped back to the camper, pulled herself up, and waved around a stack of coupon books she had raided from the visitor center earlier that day. "Here, tear out the page that says free photos." She tossed a couple booklets to each of us. "We can go in there and have our pictures taken." She pulled out a brush and ran it through her long black hair. "Can I use that when you're done?" Rachel asked after joining us in the camper. "Then me," Deborah called out. Rachel brushed through her hair, parting it in the middle, then began weaving it into two long braids. "Just hurry," I said. "You don't have to get all fancied up. It's just a picture." I didn't want to waste a single second. Flipping through the pages of each book, I tore out the ones with a picture of a camera on it. "Come on," Mama said when Rachel finished braiding her hair. "Everybody got their coupons?" "I got mine," I said. "Yep," Pizzi said. Then everyone else held theirs up to show her. "Okay, just follow behind me. I'll find out where to go." Like a trail of ducklings, we followed Mother Goose into the casino. I've never seen or heard or smelled anything like it before. Bells and chimes echoed from the slot machines. Coins clinked into metal trays. Cheering and shouting went on in the distance, and way too many people were talking at once. Swirls of cigarette smoke floated through the air like a blanket of gray clouds hovering after a summer storm. I wasn't sure whether to cover my ears or my nose as I walked through. I thought back to a field trip I had taken with my second-grade class only a few months earlier. We went to a museum in downtown Jacksonville to see an exhibit about health in the human body. Inside one of the display cases, there were two sets of lungs. Real lungs taken from dead people. One was normal and pink, right next to a pair of black lungs from someone who smoked. It was so gross. That's all it took. I pinched my fingers tight to my nostrils to protect my lungs as we made our way to the photo booth. We took picture after picture, then traded in our free coupons for black and white photos framed in a fake $100 bill. After Mr. Cy's, Mama drove down the strip a little further, then pulled into the parking lot of another casino, one that had a sign shaped into an enormous clown with a swirled lollipop in his hand. Attached to the building was a huge pink and white striped circus tent. "The sign says Circus Circus," I squealed from the upper bed. We went in and followed Mama through the lights, noise, and smoke to a large carnival section made just for kids. "Y'all can stay here and play," she shouted above the noise. "There's supposed to be a circus show on that stage about every half hour or so." She pointed to a large trapeze net hanging over a black platform stage. "Deborah and Brother, y'all are in charge of the twins," she continued. "I'll be back a little later." "What? Why do we have to be in charge?" Brother asked. "Because you two are the oldest." Before anyone could argue, Mama turned and walked away. "What?" Deborah's eyes trailed her as she disappeared into the crowd. "Well, let's try to meet here each time there's a performance so we don't all get lost." As everyone wandered off, I spun in the circle to catch sight of all the games surrounding me. A balloon blast game, a dart throw, stacked milk bottles, skee ball, even one of those ping-pong toss games where you can win a goldfish if your ball lands in the right fishbowl. The one that caught my eye the most, though, was the camel racing game. "This is so cool. It's way better than the carnivals we have at school," I said to John Eric. "Let's go play that camel game." I tugged on his sleeve to lead him to the metal camels. Then we waited and watched as players rolled a little ball into a hole that determined the number of steps the camel would take. Just like a real race, the announcer spoke into the microphone to get the crowd excited. Camel number 2 is in the lead, followed closely by camel number 5. Number 6 coming in at a close third. Oh, wait, number 6 is taking the lead. Number 6 is racing to the finish line. Shoot, you have to pay for these, John Eric said. He pointed to a sign on the wall with big red letters. I read 25 cents. Of course, that sucks. I let out a long sigh. Well, we'll have to find some money, I guess, John Eric said. We kept our eyes peeled to the floor as we walked around the loop, searching each nook and cranny for any semblance of a coin. Sometimes we'd get lucky, but not enough to keep us entertained for long. We should look underneath those games over there. John Eric pointed to an arcade area with games like Shark Jaws, Speed Race, and Dungeon. There's probably a lot of money that rolled underneath them. No way! Kids are everywhere. I'm not getting on the floor. I know, don't worry about it. We'll never see these people again. That wasn't the first time I heard those words that summer. I thought about the people staring at us at the rest area where Mama threw her last fit, then folded my arms across my chest. Come on, unless you just want to stand here watching everybody else have fun. He was right. We could only play the games if we had money. But even if we'd never see these people again, it didn't make it any less embarrassing. Okay, I shrugged my shoulders. I guess. I followed him to the arcade area, glanced around to make sure no one was watching, then got on my hands and knees in front of one of the video games. Through the dirt and grime, I spotted a quarter hidden under a large dust ball. It was too far back, though, and there was no way I could reach it. John Eric had his arm buried to his shoulder under one of the other machines, reaching with all his might to get something. I got up and casually walked to a nearby trash can. After making sure no one was watching, I pulled out a white paper cone with sticky bits of pink cotton candy attached to it. I brought it to John Eric, who was still straining to reach a coin. Here, use this, I said. He pushed the cone under the game, swiped it back and forth, then pulled out a couple of coins. Perfect! We worked as a team, switching between pretending to play the video game and laying on the floor, reaching for coins. As Deborah suggested, we met at the stage each time we heard the announcement for a circus performance. The shows were all amazing, just like being at a real circus, but nothing beat the ponytail lady. She had long blonde hair pulled up in a ponytail and wore a silver sequin bodysuit that reflected light like a shiny disco ball. She danced her way to a ribbon that hung from the ceiling, then attached it to her hair. The spotlight narrowed as her feet left the ground. Lifted only by her hair, she performed all sorts of acrobatics in the air. I rubbed the top of my head as I watched, thinking back to the searing pain I felt each time Mama dragged me by my hair. Gosh, that has to hurt so bad. She must have a head of steel or something, I said. I know. Let's go find something to eat after this, John Eric said. I'm starving. We walked through one of the cafes surrounding the carnival area, but the tables didn't have any of the usual jelly or ketchup packets as we had hoped. John Eric grabbed a handful of powdered Coffee Mate creamer packets from the counter on the way out, but I left empty-handed. Why didn't you get anything? His brows forced into a frown. No way. I hate powdered milk. I don't care how hungry I am. This isn't powdered milk, it's different. You just have to try it. He tore open the packet and reached it toward me. You sure? Yeah. After sprinkling some of the fine white powder onto my palm, he watched as I touched my tongue to it. Whoa, you're right. This is delicious. It tastes like malted ice cream. Way better than those Miracle Whip packets we got the last time. I know. Let's finish these and go get some more. After wiping the cafe clean of creamers, we tucked behind one of the video games and poured each packet into our mouths. Did you hear that? I asked. What? Nothing. I just thought I heard him say Thompson over the loudspeaker. Let's go see what we can get from the other restaurants. Treaty! John Eric! Deborah shouted. She had her finger pointing at us as she ran in our direction, with the police officer and the rest of the kids trailing behind her. "Come on, we have to go," she shouted. "Come on, kids. Let's go find your mother," the cop said when he caught up to us. Oh my gosh, we're in so much trouble. I grabbed onto John Eric's arm as the policeman led us through the busy casino. People all around stopped what they were doing to watch. Maybe because the twins were only in diapers, or maybe because they'd never seen 9 kids getting escorted out of a casino before. Who knows? A black and white car sat double parked outside the main entrance with flashing yellow lights lighting the pavement around it. "Okay, kids, you're all going to have to pile in," the cop said. He gave an uncomfortable smile as he opened the back door. He seemed friendly enough, but kind of stiff, like he didn't know how to deal with us or something. He probably didn't have any children of his own. "Some of you guys can squeeze up front with me," he offered. Rachel and Peetsy jumped at the chance. Peetsy held Jonas on his lap, while in the back seat Deborah took Josh on hers, and I sat on Brothers, between Gregory and John Eric. "Are we going to jail?" I asked Deborah while biting on the edge of my fingernail. "I'm scared." "I don't think so. The cops just want to know where Mama is," she whispered. Oh my gosh, this is all my fault. I put my hand to my forehead and looked over to John Eric. Well, mine and his, he did it too. My stomach knotted into a tight ball, wringing out every bit of sweet cream I had stolen. "We're in trouble for stealing all that creamer," I whispered to John Eric. "Mama's gonna kill us." "I know." He looked down and twiddled his thumbs. "It's not because of y'all," Deborah said. "It's 'cause Brother was supposed to be watching the twins." Her voice sounded angry. "But he fell asleep in the camper. Jonas and Josh were just wandering around the parking lot in their diapers, and the lady almost hit him with her car, so she called the police." Even through all my fear, I couldn't help feeling amazed as the officer drove down the strip. Everything looked way different than when we had arrived earlier that day. Signs all around us flashed and lit up the whole street as if we were going through a drive-in movie theater, with a different screen on each building. The city looked like it was draped in jewels and diamonds. The police officer picked up his radio. "We're not finding their mother anywhere," he said. "I'm going to go ahead and take them in. It's after midnight, and these poor kids have to be tired and hungry." "No," Deborah shouted. "It's okay. Mama's going to come back to the camper to get us. You can just bring us back there." The officer put down his radio and continued driving. "I'm sorry, but I can't bring you kids back to that camper. Not without adult supervision. The 2 little ones could have been run over by a car. Or something worse." "Please take us back to the camper," Deborah begged. "We'll be fine. I'll watch them, I promise. I'm old enough. I'm 16. They won't get out again." "No, honey," he said. "I'm taking you guys to juvenile detention until we find your mother. Don't worry. You'll be perfectly safe there." "Juvenile detention?" Gregory sat up in his seat. "That's like jail for kids. We didn't do anything wrong." John Eric and I looked at each other. Not only is Mama going to kill us, everybody else is too. When we arrived at Juvie, we clumped close together like a scene from Scooby-Doo as we entered the building. "Crap. Mom's going to be so mad," Brother said. He exhaled a long breath and wiped his hand across his forehead. "Don't worry, kids. You didn't do anything wrong. You're not in trouble. It's just not safe to be in a casino by yourselves. There's a lot of bad people in this world, and anything could happen to you," the officer said. "Your mother shouldn't have left you there alone." I exhaled a sigh of relief. "But how will she know where we are?" Gregory asked. By the look on his face, I could tell he was just as scared as me. "Is she going to be in trouble when you find her?" "I'm 16, Deborah repeated. "I was the one in charge. I'm so sorry. Please don't do anything to our mother." Tears ran down her cheeks as she spoke. "Well, the important thing is that you're safe," he said. "We left a note on the camper so your mother will know where you are." He gave a soft, comforting smile. "Are you guys hungry?" "Yes," we all answered at once. "Okay, let's see what kind of food they have here." It's the middle of the night, so the kitchen will be closed, but we'll see what we can do. He turned to a lady who had frazzled hair and black mascara smeared under her eyes as if she had just woken up. In the meantime, can you find these kids a place to sleep for the night? She let out a loud sigh as if he were asking too much of her. Her cold frown sent chills down my body. Another sigh, this time ending with a click of her tongue to shame us. She picked up the phone to call security. "We'll have to split you guys up," she said once the guards arrived. Split us up? I felt my heart leap to my throat. I wasn't the only one scared. We all looked at each other with panic in our eyes. "You 4 boys follow him." She pointed to Brother Pete Gregory and John Eric, then instructed one of the security guards where to take them. "You 2 girls follow him." She pointed to the other guard. "Take him to the girls' ward. I'll find a place for these 3 little ones." "Can't we all stay together?" Deborah sobbed. "No." The lady glared as if to say, "How dare you question me?" My heart raced faster as everyone but the twins and I was escorted down the long corridor. After a few minutes, the 2 security guards came back carrying cots and blankets. "Put him in that office over there," the lady said. "This is ridiculous." I grabbed the twins' hands as we followed the lady to the room. "It's not our fault we're here, lady. Would you rather we were criminals or something?" After she closed the door behind her, I plopped on one of the cots and hugged my knees to my chest as I looked around. We were in a small office with nothing but a desk and a couple of chairs and a small window. There wasn't even a single picture on the walls. "This isn't so bad," I said, not sure if I was trying to comfort myself or the twins. "Sure beats the floor of the camper. Thank God the twins are with me. I'd be so scared to be here by myself. I hope Mom is okay. I wonder what happened to her anyway." I got up to wrap a blanket around the twins when the police officer came back holding a small bag in his hands. "The kitchen was closed, but I managed to scrounge something up for you," he said. He placed a ham sandwich, a bag of chips, a cookie, and a carton of milk in front of each of us. "Don't worry, kids. We'll find your mother. You'll be safe here," he said. "Thank you," I said as he turned to leave. All my fears melted away as I picked up the sandwich in front of me. "Oh my gosh, this is heaven," I said as I scarfed the food. When we were done eating, I pushed the 3 cots together to make one big bed, then turned off the lights and took the one in the center between the twins. "It's so comfortable here. This is awesome." Cool enough to use a blanket with the AC running, I pulled it over my face and closed my eyes. I hope Mom is okay. I wonder why she never came back to get us. What if she's hurt? I rolled over, hugging the blanket close to my chest. This is so nice. So good to be out of the scorching camper. I took in a long, deep breath and let it out slowly. I'm so glad I don't have to smell pee tonight. What if they put Mama in jail? The thought made my stomach tighten again. Well, if they do, maybe they'll let us stay here longer. I felt guilty as my thoughts went back and forth between worrying about Mama and enjoying Juvie so much. My eyes eventually grew heavy and my body melted into the cot as I drifted to sleep. "Come on, get up!" Mama's harsh voice shouted above us. Huh? I peeked from the covers to see the dark night sky through the open slits of the blinds. Down the hall, I heard the other kids grumbling. What's going on? "Let's go! Get up!" Mama said again, this time pushing the side of the cot with her foot to jerk it back and forth. "It's time to leave." "I don't want to go," Jonas said, rubbing his eyes. Josh smacked his lips, then rolled onto his belly, still sound asleep. "No, we're leaving now. Come on, wake up, Josh." She kicked harder on the end of his cot. The chill of the air condition hit me as I dragged myself off the small makeshift bed. With my arms wrapped around my chest, I waited for the twins, then followed Mama out of the room. Everyone else, including the mean lady, was already waiting for us in the foyer with their eyes half closed and groggy. "She could have at least just let us spend the night," Pete mumbled. "I'm so tired," Gregory said. He stretched his arms out and yawned. Miss, you have to report to the police station first thing tomorrow, the lady said. I'm only letting you take the kids because we need that office in the morning. You already told me that, Mama snapped. What do you think, I'm deaf or something? Mama was in a mood, and the last thing we wanted was a face-off between those two, so no one said a word as we made our way out the door. Can't even do one simple thing, can you? She turned to Deborah. What the hell happened? I come back to a note on the camper? You think this is what I want to deal with in the middle of the night? And then to have to listen to that hag lecture me before she went to go get y'all? Now we have to leave Las Vegas and it's all your fault. Mama brought Deborah back to tears. It's not my fault. Me and brother were taking turns watching the twins. I don't want to hear a word. You're the oldest. You were in charge. Y'all can sleep in the fucking camper while I drive. I'm not going to no damn police station in the morning. They can kiss my ass. I held my head down and moped as I climbed into the hot camper and onto the couch. I wish they did arrest her. She's such a meanie, I said, thinking how she'd probably scream at the nice cop if she went to the station in the morning. Don't say that, Treaty. You don't mean it, Deborah said. Yes, I do. She didn't drive far out of the city limits before pulling to the side of the road to sleep. What happened last night, Mama? Gregory asked in the morning. What do you mean, what happened? Mama scowled. Gregory must have thought she was in a better mood to ask such a question, but now he had to continue. His voice softened to almost a whisper. I mean, where were you? What the hell kind of question is that? I was in the damn casino. Where do you think I was? No one said anything. Deborah would have probably wanted to explain that the cop took her all around Circus to look for Mama, but when they couldn't find her anywhere, that's when he gathered all the rest of us up. She wouldn't dare say that now, though. No way. Then I went to an empty camper, and you know what I found? I found a fucking note saying my children were in juvenile detention. I don't even know what the hell y'all did to put yourself there, and I don't even want to hear about it. My own kids going to jail. Now I've heard everything. You know what I had to do then? As tired as I was, I had to go back in that fucking casino and look through the goddamn telephone book for Juvenile Hall. How the hell was I supposed to find it? You think I know my way around this town? You're damn lucky one of those whore cocktail waitresses told me how to find it.